have shepherded over have turned against me. They have broken the holy covenant between me and you. They have whored themselves with idols, whom they have crafted with thine own hand, and they have bowed themselves and worshipped these abominations. They have said, blessed be these idols, whom have led and provided for them 1,000 years. Since they have done this thing and taken my blessing and given it to the idols, my wrath is poured out upon the whole world. A decrepit sickness has been unleashed into the world, for all of their wickedness and worshiping death. They shall become decrepit things, spreading death. This is my judgment on all those who transgress my law, and who has defiled my covenant. Death. Death. But not for you and your brother. You shall stay here in my holy mountain as I test the entire world to see if they shall serve me or choose death. I have spoken, so shall it be.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of The Word of the Most High Yah. I'm your host, Priest of the Most High, Lucifer D. Lambew. Alright? And today we're going to be talking about how Yah chose Israel to be a special holy nation above all nations. We're going to be talking about Yah willing, man of Israel don't live by bread alone, but by the very word of the Most High. And also we're going to be talking about Israel as a stiff-necked nation, Yah willing. Alright? We're on the book of Deuteronomy, last book of the Torah, the 5th book of the Bible, written by Moses. So we're really excited about that, recruits. Again, the book of Deuteronomy is the last book of the Torah, so you'll have all the information about the Torah through these teachings and trainings to be able to feel with the Spirit of the Most High, with a relationship with Him, comfortable navigating the Torah of the Scriptures. Alright, so let's go ahead and get to it. Turn with me to chapter 7, and we're going to read verse 6 and 14. We'll start there. Alright, so Deuteronomy chapter 7. Got air conditioning on. It's kind of pushing the papers a bit. Alright, so we got Deuteronomy chapter 7, starting on verse 6, and it says, For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God. The Lord thy God has chosen thee to be a special people unto himself above all people that are upon the face of the earth. So let's go ahead and hold it there for a second. Most High chose our ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and and Jacob, to be a special people. Now, for all those people who say that it's racist, and anti-white to be telling the truth of the scriptures, the Most High, you ain't saying that about the Most High, right? He chose a people, our ancestors, our people, to be a special people to himself, a holy people, right? Above all nations, based on his relationship with our forefathers, but he's choosing us and pulling us out as a nation, as a people. Meaning he didn't choose the Moabites, he didn't choose the Amorites, he didn't choose the Edomites, he didn't choose the Ishmaelites, he didn't choose none of you because you ain't the Israelites. Right? It's like saying, okay, there's a room, it's just like that. There's a room full of white people, so-called white people, self-proclaimed white people, self-proclaimed, Japanese, Chinese, which we all know they're really Moabites and Amorites, but whatever, whatnot. And there's a bunch of Palestinians there or something, or whatever. And then there's like a small section of Negroes. And it's like saying, okay, I want all the Negroes, to come over here and sit in the best seats, sit in like these recliners and so forth or whatever, and have like, air conditioning and drinks and cocktails and food and big screen TV section, and all the rest of you mofos will have you guys sit outside in the sun, on the gravel. Don't even give them a chair, let them sit on the gravel. Esau will be like, that's racist. But that's what the Most High is doing. That's what the Most High did when he chose us, our nation, our ancestors, us, over all of these Gentiles. Right? So you can call it racist, you can call it whatever you want to, but it's all good when it's the Most High setting the standard. When he's saying it, he put nothing comes back to him void, as it is written. So him saying thus and thus and thus, that's the measures, that's what it is. It is what it is. It's just the truth. Alright, let me go ahead and read that again. Alright, and let's continue. For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God. The Lord thy God has chosen thee to be a special people unto himself above all people that are upon the face of the earth. So that means we're above the Neanderthals, which were subhuman. We're above the Amorites and Moabites, which is basically Chinese, Japanese. We're above the Ishmaelites, right? We're above the Edomites. Now, we may not be in this world recognized as of yet, but there's nothing that comes back to the Most High. The Most High is saying this in his own words, so there's nothing that's going to come back to him void. Right? This is still yet to come to pass in terms of recognition on this earth, which is coming. That we're the children of the Most High God. That we're above them. They don't know it yet. They don't know it yet. And that's what we was talking about, recruit, the last time, right? How the best leadership starts at the bottom. The best leadership can connect with all of the worker bees, all the different parts and gears of the machine, of the bike, of the collaboration. Being able to connect with all these different levels before taking over is essential to great leadership. It's what the Most High had in store for the so-called Negroes, had in store for us, the King's tribe, by bringing us through this 400-year captivity amongst all the nations. Even here in Babylon, all the nations are here. So we're getting that experience with all these different nations. All these nations for which the man of God, the reestablished Israel, the kingship, will rule over. Will rule over them. Bringing to pass with the Most High, what he has been reading to you right now. Amongst all the other things the scriptures talk about. He says that we're above all people. There's no people out there that you're going to find in his eyes better than us. In his eyes. Now, you got Edomites. I mean, they love their skin tone. They love their nation. They love their, their dominion. But that dominion's not going to last forever. Matter of fact, it's already on its way out. They're like, I don't know, moments, minutes, seconds, days, weeks, months away from total collapse, total calamity. But see, the fact that the Most High says, basically in his eyes, that we're above all people, that you can take that to the bank. That's the best thing. That's the best thing you ever heard, recruit. Because the Most High is going to honor what he says. The Most High is going to make what he says come to be, make it understandable and seeable to all. That's what the whole 144,000 anointed is all about. No matter where they go, no matter where they walk, no matter who they deal with, everybody knows they're the children of the Most High. No one fucks with them. Right? Most High says he's going to basically beautify our name. He's going to, the name of his children. He's going to edify his children's name. There you go. Right? And he's going to do it because he said he would. He's going to do it because he said that's how he feels, and that's how he thinks, and that's what he sees. Regardless of whether you see it right now, recruit, regardless of whether it's evident to you right now, the fact that he said it is a promise, and you can bet, you can put that to the bank that it's going to come to pass exactly how he has put it out. Y'all willing we be those men. Y'all willing you be one of those men. Right? Y'all willing to eat down, to have those blessings overtake you. Alright, verse 7. Verse 7. The Lord did not set his love upon you, nor chose you, because you were more in number than any people, for ye were the fewest of all people. Here we are, 13% of the American population. We're a small number in all these other nations to which he scattered us to. So it wasn't, he didn't choose us because of our numerousness. We was a diamond in the rough. We was rough. We was a piece of coal, a piece of shit. And it's through his love and his pressure that he applied on us as a nation, his pressure he applied on us as a people, that the circumstances and situations that he placed us in, that brought out that pressure, brought out that diamond. Right? It is because of his love that we're going to be these things that he says that we are, not because of ourselves, and not because we were that way prior, because we wasn't. We wasn't, bro. But we will be. We will be everything that he has said and spoken in regards to us. Y'all willing we be those men? Y'all willing we be that remnant? Y'all willing we be part of the restoration of Israel? Because that when those blessings overtake that remnant, y'all willing to be this generation, y'all willing to be us, y'all willing to be you, there's not going to be nothing like it. The words in this language can't describe what the feeling's going to be like. Ruling over these other nations, ruling over every other nation on the planet, ruling over all these other people. That was the plan then, and that's the plan now. Most High is the same today, yesterday, and forever. Best believe he's telling you exactly what's on his mind. Praise be to Yah. Alright, turn with me to chapter 10. We're going to read verse 14 and 15. Okay, and it says, behold, the heaven and the heaven of heavens is the Lord, thy God. The earth also, with all that there is. Only the Lord had a delight in thy fathers to love them, and he chose their seed after them, even you, above all people, as it is this day. See? How many times he got to say that he chose the Israelites, our people, the so-called Negroes, in this captivity, over all the nations of the earth? Because he loved our fathers. See, he loved our fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and he's faithful, more faithful than anything anyone you've ever known, anything you've ever seen. He's faithful for thousands and thousands of generations. He's faithful. And because of his love affair with them, he loves us. Because of his promises with them, he has kept covenant with us. He has kept his promises for us. Because he chose them, he chooses us. And like he says about himself, he's faithful. The Edomites can't change that. With their lies and their feel-good philosophy of devils, doctrine of devils, they can't change that no matter how many times they tell you, their science, their psychology, their feel-good doctrine, their garbage. They can't change the Most High's mind no matter how many Jakes they got so mind screwed up to believe and chase after them. The Moabites, the Amorites, they can't change the Most High's mind either. They ain't even trying to be reading their scriptures. They already know that they ain't chosen, they're out. They got their little demon gods that they deal with, and that's what they deal with. This ain't gonna change. No matter what the Palestinians and the say over there in land that ain't even theirs. No matter what the Jewish, these Khazars, Ashkenazis, fakes say, the Most High is stern, and he's faithful, and he's sovereign. He's not gonna change his mind just because the other nations that he did not choose has a problem with the fact that he chose us. He chastises, like the scriptures say, he would not have us go unholy unpunished, right? The wicked shall not go unpunished. And our ancestors and us in this captivity have been wicked as a motherfucker before coming into this truth. Brother, look back at his life, some of the plans that he had, some of the plans that I had, some of the things that I've done before coming into this truth, praise be to Yah. And the only word I could use to describe it was wicked. Right? And that's just being truthful, that's just being honest. Praise be to Yah. But in the Most High, in this word, in this truth, a brother's a new creature. That's right. Okay. Alright, so let's go ahead and continue. Let's go to chapter 14. We're going to read verse 1 and 2. Alright, so again, chapter 14, verse 1 and 2. Alright, here we go. Verse 1. Ye are the children of the Lord, your God. Ye shall not cut yourselves. Alright. Nor make any baldness between your eyes for the dead. For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God, and the Lord hath chosen thee to be a peculiar people unto himself, above all the nations that are upon the earth. How many times he got to say it for you? Recruit? Are you other nations who sit here watching this telecast? You know, you Gentiles, we know you watching this telecast. Praise be to Yah. You want to see what it is that we're teaching. You want to see what it is that we're saying. We got NSA, government alphabet soup watching these telecasts, right? With all due respect, right? Because we're not opposed to the powers, right? Right? We're not opposed. We're not anti the powers. We respect the government. That's right. Maybe respect's a different word. We recognize the government. We recognize the powers and principalities. Of course we do. Right? We recognize you. Right? Because when the Most High has us take over, which y'all willing we be those men, we're going to expect that all these other nations that the Most High will put beneath us will understand and acknowledge our power. Y'all willing we be those men. Right? The scriptures teach us to be respectful of the powers, or shall I say, to not to give them their due honor. And it's true. It's true, because how can you if you don't respect or you don't honor or give appropriate honor, shall I say, to the boss, people, the manager, the director, or whatever. Then when you're in that position of being manager, director, being the boss, basically, how could you then expect people to honor you? Right? And our people, praise be the Most High, whether they want to admit it or not, have honored the self-proclaimed white man during this 400-year captivity, right? I mean, we worked with them. We worked with them in their jobs. We worked out there with vigor in their fields. We took care of their children. You know, the sheer fact that they don't wake up with a sharp object to their throat is proof that the so-called Negroes have honored them this whole time that we've been here. Now, of course, there's still times where there is discord, but for the most part, praise be to Yah, I mean, the fact that this society hasn't come crashing, burning down from the ground with a little black hand holding the torch shows that our people have been compliant and honoring the dominion of the Edomites for all this time, by and large, right? And that is, I mean, if that be meat for you, let that be meat for you. But that is of God, because all governments given their power by the Most High. He's the one that lifts up countries and nations and brings them crashing down. He's the one that lifts up the so-called Negroes, the Israelites of Scripture, and brought us down. And He's the one that's going to lift us up again. And because it is Him who is behind all of these power shifts, we honor it. Praise be to Yah. We honor the people we honor the power structure, because we know it comes from Him, and the dishonor is the dishonor Him. We know that those of us who have eyes that can see know that it is the Most High who lifts these things up and brings them down and lifts them up again. It wasn't the self-proclaimed white man that brought us into slavery, though they were the vessel. It was the Most High. It wasn't the self-proclaimed white man that that brought us from the bottom and that punished us severely for our sins. It was the Most High. They were the vessel, but it was definitely the Most High was the one that said all these things would come to pass, and in doing so, nothing comes back to Him void. He's the one that, our sins did it, but He set it in motion. He told us it would be the case, and it has come to be the case. You see, we don't love the Most High because we're blind. We don't love the Most High because, we have no idea
Now is the time, O Israel, to make your choice. Come back to serving the God of Israel in spirit and in truth. While there's still time, the Most High has sent His servants to guide you in His ways. Put your faith in Yahshua HaMashiach, for this is the way, O Israel, walk therein, or choose the world to your peril. Wisely, but be not lukewarm. For in that day, for those of you who are lukewarm, He will spit you out of His mouth, and there will be weeping and gnashing of teeth. So choose, and choose now.
Anything about Him. We love the Most High because He is our God, right? And He is truthful and honest with us. He tells us everything that was going to befall us here in the Scriptures. He didn't hide nothing from us. He's not like these devils that are all over these other nations that hide and lie, and with their secrecy and with their with their deception after deception after deception, wrapped in another deception, and there's really no truth in them. But that's not the Most High. The good, the bad, the ugly, the gritty, the bloody truth. But yet it's still the truth. Right, recruit? And the love of His children is, He deserves it to be there regardless. Regardless. Right? He says in His word 2/3 of our people aren't going to make it. Does that mean the 1/3 or the 144,000 don't love the Most High because they may see that 2/3 of their people go down? No. They'll love the Most High anyway. Right? Thankful to the Most High that we made it, that we would make it out. Thankful to the Most High that He would show and reveal the truth about what's going on. When hell opens up before the Edomites and drags them inside, are we gonna? Is that gonna cause problems between us and the Most High? Seeing these white devils going to hell? No, it's not, because we're gonna be thankful that the Most High revealed the punishment for wickedness, that we might see it and that our nation might see it and know that, to appreciate the Most High and to have faith in Him, the faith and appreciation that our ancestors didn't have. Right? You can't, and it's kind of like this, it's kind of like this, right? How here the man of God is online, bringing out the scriptures through the Spirit of the Most High, telling people the truth through the Spirit of the Most High, through what is written. None of these words are my own words, praise be Yah. All this stuff that the Most High has me say is of Him, from Him. The reference, the only reference that I have is the scriptures, praise be Yah, is the word of God, praise be Yah. Is the truth. And yet you got people railing against the man of God as if it's not, as if it comes from me or something. You have people railing against the men of God out there on the street corners that the Most High brought out from these various other camps and from these various other places all around the world. You have people railing against them as if their words are their own. You have people saying how much they hate the so-called Negroes, the niggers, how much they hate the men of God, how much they hate us, the Israelites. Even though we're telling them the truth, they're raging against the truth. They hear that the Most High chose us above all nations, and they don't hate us as much as they hate the Most High. But how could you hate the Most High for letting you know the fucking truth? I mean, that doesn't make any sense spiritually. Yeah, He didn't choose you, but at least He let you know that He didn't choose you, so you're not fucking walking around here thinking that He chose you, that you're somehow the apple of His eye, and then come to find out you're rotting in hell. Now, whether you want to believe it or not, whether you want to live in your own personal delusion, that's on you. But through the scriptures, He has set the bounds, and He has let everybody know, all the major players on this earth, where He's coming from. Like it, don't like it, accept it, don't accept it, but you know. All you other nations who grit your fucking teeth while you're watching this telecast. While you're watching this so-called black man, so-called Negro with melanin sit here and let you know and let Israel know that it's the Israelites, the so-called Negroes, the King's tribe, the Israelites of Scripture that are chosen above all the other people. That's right, chosen above all the other people, even amongst Israel. You don't think our people have to have the spirit of knowing of that too? You don't think so? King's tribe is the King's tribe. That means the King's tribe rules Israel. That means all the other tribes are underneath the King's tribe. So if another tribe is underneath the King's tribe, then how can that other tribe, whatever tribe of Israel that be, how can the other tribe be above Judah? Can't be. Spiritually, if Judah is above all the other 12 tribes, if Judah is the King's tribe, then it's above all the other 12 tribes, then it's above all people, even including Israel, even including amongst Israel, even including amongst the brethren. So our own Israelite brethren has to deal with the same fact that these, when it comes to Judah, that these Gentiles have to deal with when it comes to Israel. You see? Judah's above them, and they're above you. Other nations, you Gentiles. Right? The least of us is above the greatest of this earth. And that's the truth. But you guys hate us. We become your enemy because we tell you the truth. It's the truth. That goes for your Reubenites, Gadites, Levites, Ephraimites, your king's tribe, the rulership of Israel is above you. It's the truth. Just like you are above all these other nations that are not even within Israel. Is not the Most High coming? You know, it goes like Judah, Levites, then whoever else. Now don't get it twisted, the Levites were reserved by the Most High. They've over the firstborns of Israel. So don't get that twisted. But just in truth, the king's tribe is still the king's tribe, and the Most High is coming to the king's tribe first. So if the Levites were above the king's tribe, then the Most High will be coming to the Levites first, spiritually speaking. Right? But that ain't the way it's happening. The Most High, in His Word, is coming to Judah first. He's coming to the king's tribe first. So He's letting everybody know, the other 11 tribes, the other 11 tribes of Israel. He's letting all of you know, putting all of you on notice that it's Judah first, baby. It's the king's tribe first, baby. Now, why do you think he felt the need to come to Judah first, if it was just understood that Judah, being the king's tribe, was above all the other tribes? As it is written, even he said, you know, if he came to everybody all at the same time, all you other tribes would rebel, because it's a rebellious nation. Because there's jealousy there. If you guys could have stole, the other 11 tribes could have stole the kingship during this 400 years of my people, of all people being, of Judah being confused days and out of their mind, you would have. You would have. Reuben sure and fuck would have wanted to steal the kingship back. The Reubenites, right? The Levites would have loved to, you know, to steal the kingship if they could. Any of the other tribes who don't even have a position, really, would have loved to steal the kingship. The so-called Negroes have been running around with their heads just in a panic and in a huge state of confusion for almost 400 years. And ain't none of those other 12 tribes of Israel, knowing this truth, took it upon themselves to help their kingship comes back into its knowledge of itself. None of them. You got so-called Negroes, Israelites, right now on those street corners pushing this truth, talking to all these other people of Israel and the other nations or whatever not. You got them pushing this truth hard. And they're the ones that have the most delusion over this almost 400 years. Many people who are trying to wake up Judah, who are not Judites, right, are slanting it. They're not telling these brothers that they're the king's tribe. They're not telling these brothers that they're the rulership over Israel. They're telling them they're Israelites and whatever, not from the tribe of Judah, yeah, but you know, I mean, they're making it seem as if all the 12 tribes are relatively equal. Like it doesn't really matter which one of the 12 tribes you're even in, because they're already rudimentarily the same. That's not true. You know, so a brother can understand how these Gentile dogs hate the fact that Israel is above all these other nations, right? Because even within Israel, there are some of the tribes that hate the fact that the so-called Negroes are the king's tribe and it is above them. But get used to it. Because when the Most High comes, He's not coming to abolish that. He's coming to ensure that and keep that and make sure that is everlasting forever. He's going to reestablish the king's tribe and make sure, and all the other tribes, and put them all together as one stick, ruled and regulated and controlled by the king's tribe. That's right. Get used to it. Smile, be real about your stuff, man. Don't be out there talking about you giving people the truth while being delusional to yourself. Those who push this truth, who is now the tribe of Judah. Because best believe the Most High ain't delusional. Okay, so let's continue. Let's go to chapter 15, verse 4 through 6. So chapter 15 and verse 4 through 6. And here we go. Save when there shall be no poor among you, for the Lord shall greatly bless thee in the land, which the Lord thy God giveth thee for an inheritance to possess it. Now, notice he's not talking about carnally. He's talking about the time when they finally entered into the land of milk and honey. But spiritually, he's talking about a future date. He's talking about soon come, right? Because even Yeshua said that, the poor will always be with you. Right? So a time and a place where there is no poor? Yeah, right. But there will be a time and a place amongst Israel where there is no poor, and that's those who enter into the land of milk and honey. Because when you enter into your land, y'all willing, you be those people, when the Most High comes back and redeems Israel, you're going to be redeemed. The people will be redeemed. They enter into their rest. There's not going to be no poor Israelite living in their land poor. No, because it's their land. Even the least of us is going to be like David. Even the least of us is going to have something. He ain't going to be poor. Praise the Most High. Most High chose us to be above, as a nation, to be above all people. Chose us as Judah to be above the nation of Israel. Best believe ain't nobody of Israelite, of redeemed Israel, gonna be poor. That the Most High chose that will be in the land of milk and honey, as it is written. Number 5. Only if thou carefully hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all these commandments which I command thee this day. For the Lord thy God bless thee as he promised thee, and thou shalt lend unto many nations, but thou shalt not borrow. And thou shalt reign over many nations, but they shall not reign over thee. You see, this haven't happened yet, because right now, brother's been in captivity for almost 400 years, right? The 12 tribes of Israel, some of them been in captivity for even longer than that, right? Right? They got the UN. So-called Negroes ain't got no representation on the UN. We ain't ruling over nobody. Everybody's ruling over us. So best believe when the Most High comes back and brings these things, these promises that he was saying and promising to our forefathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and to our ancestor, Judah, and the Israelites, best believe when he brings these promises and the men of Judah that these promises overtake, best believe that's going to be forever. That's going to be eternally. That's going to be eternally. And again, he's saying no nation, no people going to rule over them. He's talking in the spirit to Judah. To Judah. To the king's tribe. Because the king's tribe is going to be over all of Israel, and by default, over all the other nations on the planet. And no one shall be over us. No nation, no nation of people. Save Yeshua and the Most High. Right? And the king of Israel, when the Most High, lifts up a man from among us. Right? But it's Judah first, baby. Get used to it. Get used to it, because that's the truth. You may not hear that in all the camps, you may not hear that everywhere, but it's the truth. And you hearing it here, recruit, so that you lack, y'all willing, you lack nothing. For those recruits who are of the other 11 tribes, praise be the Most High. Y'all willing, the Spirit of the Most High teaches you in truth. Teaches you in truth. Most High is a God of order. Stay in your lane. Stay in your lane, recruit. You're an Israelite. There's plenty of, you know, you're chosen from all the nations of the earth. There's plenty of stuff just being an Israelite. But there's an order. And the king's tribe is the rulership of Israel. And everybody else supports the king's tribe. Out there on those street corners, support those Negroes, because it is from amongst them that the leadership of Israel shall be chosen. You see, the Most High is going to reorganize Israel in the face, in front of our enemies. And during that reorganizational process, during that build-up process, that's all so-called Negroes chosen, baby. All of them. The king's tribe is going to be reestablished first. So you hobnobbing out there with those jakes out there pushing this truth, y'all willing, you know. These scriptures are being told to you 100%. So it's not about pride, it's about humility. As it is written, humility comes before advancement. Support your brothers out there. Support the king's tribe. Support these jakes out there pushing this truth. They've been confused and dazed for almost 400 years in this captivity here in Babylon, aka America. Support them. Strengthen your leadership tribe. You know, that they may have the confidence to lead. Should that person, that Jake, arm in arm or elbow in elbow with you, should he be chosen to be the part of the kingship? Should he be chosen to take the reins of leadership? He's gonna need your support, recruit. Okay. All right. So let's go to chapter 23, and we're gonna read verse 14. Again, chapter 23, and we're gonna read verse 14. And it says, "For the Lord thy God walketh in the midst of the camp to deliver thee, and to give up thine enemies before thee. Therefore shall thy camp be holy, that he see no unclean thing to thee, and turn away from thee." So holiness, be ye separate, being a different, set apart, following God's laws, statutes, and commandments, is how you entreat the Most High. For he walks among us. He walks among Israel, right? And he confounds our enemies before us, and he fights the battle for us, and he delivers our enemies into our hands. What the Most High is saying is, recruit. You know, when you're out there on those street corners, he's moving before you. When you're out there on those street corners with those jakes and those other 12 tribes of Israel out there pushing this truth, he's the one that confounds our enemies before us. He's the one that protects us. You know, don't keep that in mind when we say to follow God's law, statutes, and commandments to the best of your ability, because that's how you continue that relationship. If you're out there drinking, smoking, dipping, and dabbing, you know, I'm doing a show. If you're out there dipping and dabbing and doing all kinds of crazy stuff, you know, you could motivate the Most High not to go before you, not to be among you anymore, and that would definitely give you over to your enemies. See, that's what our enemies want, right? They want to be able to percolate our pride. They want to be able to percolate and to encourage sin, encourage, you know, us having wrath that would be make a difference or make a gulf between us and the Most High, because they can't fight our power. When the Most High is fully engaged, when the Most High is doing his thing, there's nobody that can come against you. Like it says, like it's written, with the Most High with us, who can be against us? But when there's sin involved, when there's slipping involved, sliding involved, when there's pride, arrogance, which we all know the scriptures say pride comes before the fall. When all those things are involved, then there can be a wedge made between the man of God and the Most High. And if that wedge is made between the man of God and the Most High, now all of our enemies are no longer subject to us. Now they're rising up on those street corners. Now they're rising up in your homes. Now they're rising up and having victory. Right? So that's one of the reasons also I'm telling you, recruit, pray be in spirit of truth, you know, as a loving brother in this truth, you know, that the kingship tribe is over all these other tribes, so that knowing the truth, there's no reason for you to be prideful, there's no reason for you to be egotistical, there's no reason for you to be self-deluded. You know, that's why I said that's what's written, give the devil no foothold. If you know that, you know, Issachar isn't the king's tribe, if you know that Reuben lost the king's tribe, the kingship, because of what they did to, what their progenitor did to our father Jacob, right? Israel. If you know that, then there's no reason. Then you're not giving the devil no foothold in order to make you think that you're more, make you think that you're bigger and better, make you think that you're going to get something that you're not. Thank you. Thank you. I can't read. Let him go.
You should have killed me. You should have killed me, boy. You should have killed me. I'm gonna get you. Get you. And your little bitch of boy.
It's real. You must focus. You must allow your weapon to become a part of you. Right? I mean, if you know that the Levites are the priests, you know, that they have a covenant with the Most High, then you're not going to be sitting there thinking, oh, I'm going to go ahead and become a Levite, or I'm going to go ahead and take what the Levites got. Everything that the Most High has promised to the 12 tribes of Israel they're going to get what they was promised. No one's going to have somebody else's land. No one's going to have somebody else's stuff. No one's going to have somebody else's position. I mean, even Ephraim, who is out, so-called Mexicans, even the Most High is talking in the scriptures about them coming back as well and getting that which He has for them. Now they're going to come back through the name of Joseph, but they're coming back one way or the other. So it's humility, recruit, and seeing life, seeing this word, seeing what is to come in truth, and with clear eyes. You know what I mean? There's no rose-colored glasses. There's no self-delusion that the man of God will allow himself to indulge. right? And still be out there with vigor and truth, and still be out there working your butt off to the best of your ability, serving the Most High and serving your fellow brethren, Udites, the King's tribe, supporting them and doing your best to encourage them to step up and grab those reins, because again, they've been removed now for almost 400 years from that position, from that authority, from that state of mind, that hedge. That it only makes spiritual sense that they could utilize, they could really use some encouragement. Okay? Alright. So, let's turn with me to chapter 26, and we're going to read verses 16 through 19. So, again, chapter 26, and we're going to read 16 through 19. And it says, "This day the Lord thy God hath commanded thee to do these statutes and judgments. Thou shalt therefore keep and do them with all thine heart and with all thy soul." Right? Meaning, to the best of your ability, dive into the Most High's law, statutes, commandments in your life. It's not just by word, but in deed. To the best of your ability. It's not just knowing what the 10 Commandments are. It's doing them and applying them to your life. It's not just talking about the scriptures, which is good to do, but it's not just talking about the scriptures, but applying the knowledge that you gain from the scriptures in your life. When the Most High says humility comes before advancement, believing that and living, imploring that in your life, because it's true, right? It's true. It's much more like Yeshua was talking about. If you go to a banquet or something, don't be going over to the banquet getting in the most pristine spot, most pristine seat, because the Most High may come up and be like, "Hey man, move out this seat. This is for somebody better than you," and you're gonna be embarrassed. But see, if you go and sit down in the most benign seat, the most smaller seats or whatever, now the Most High shows up. Now he's coming and is like, "Hey, you know what? What you sitting here for? Now you step up here, sit up here closer to the Most High, closer to Yeshua. You somebody, Isn't it better that the Most High sits there and corrects you in the positive way, where he's uplifting you, than for him to correct you in the negative, where he's like saying, no, you sit over there, you tripping." So I mean, it's good spiritual policy, man, bruh, to be humble. That's what he's teaching us. That's what he's teaching you, recruit, to be humble. That's why, again, there's no malice by telling you recruits the truth about how Israel is organized. The kingship down, right? Kingship, Levitical, and then everybody else, right? That's why there's no malice for the men of God to tell you to respect the powers, even Esau and and the powers and principalities that run this kingdom. Why? Because y'all willing, when we take over, when Judah is redeemed, they gonna have to respect us. Most definitely. And again, it's also still part of that humility, right? Part of that humility. Because the Most High put them and established them in power, and the Most High has been saying from the jump that he's going to take them out of power. He's going to do it. Now he's going to utilize Israel to do that, but he's the power behind Israel being able to be reestablished. He's the power behind Israel being able, Judah being able to retake the kingdom. I mean, to take the kingdom, bruh. He's the one that's behind that. So was there any reason to be prideful for? Okay. Alright, so let's continue. Thou shalt, it's starting to get a little darker here. Pretty difficult to see this now. Let's see here. Wow, thou hast something, the Lord this day, to be thy God, and to walk in his ways, and to keep his statutes and his commandments and his judgments, and to hearken unto his voice. So basically, thou hast agreed, whatever, whatnot. There's an actual word there, but I'm reading the King James Version, so I don't can't see the word itself. It's getting a little bit darker in here, but nonetheless, though, basically, our ancestors acknowledged that this is what he wanted us to do: keep his laws, such as commandments, to the best of his ability, and that was premier for getting all the blessings that he had in his heart to give us. And he's gonna give it to them anyway. But because our ancestors wanted to take it the hard way, ultimately, it's this generation, y'all willing, that will be the one that will, in the flesh, in the breath of life, receive all those things with our, in life. Right? I mean, the anointed, the scriptures say they will never die. They will never die because when they get anointed, they're already going to be alive. They're not. The Most High is the God of the living, not the dead. So the anointed is living and breathing right here and right now. They're not. The anointed is not going to be somebody that he's going to rise up from a physical grave that actually literally saw corruption. So again, there's a lot on the table, a lot of meat, recruit. If it be meat for you, it be meat. If you can digest it, then so be it. Digest it. Okay. Verse 18. And the Lord has, same word again, avouched or something of that nature. Again, it's getting hard to see. It's getting a little dark, but whatever. And the Lord hath avouched, and it may not be avouched. Recruit, if you're out there reading it, it's like, yeah, that's not what the word is. Oh well, okay. Oh well. Put it in the comment section. But I'm going to say avouched anyway. And the Lord hath avouched thee this day to be a peculiar people, and he has promised thee, and that thou shouldest keep all his commandments, and to make thee high above all nations, which he hath made, in praise and in name and in honor, and that thou mayest be an holy people unto the Lord thy God, and he hath spoken, as he hath spoken. See, and that's exactly what I've been talking about, what the Most High Spirit been having me say over and over again to you, recruit, and show in these various different places in the scriptures. It's his good pleasure, it's his will that we be above all these other nations. And nothing that he has said has come back to him void. He said, as he has spoken, as he has said, as he has promised. Which means that even though our ancestors didn't fulfill their whole end of the bargain, even though our ancestors went off and were punished, even though we went off and were punished and are punished, it's not because we were so perfect and so great that the Most High is going to do these things. He's going to do it because of his name's sake, because he has spoken it, and these things will come back to him void. See, all we have to do is have the faith that our ancestors didn't have in order to receive it, and have the faith in doing Most High's law, statutes, and commandments to the best of our ability in order to receive it. He wants to give it. It's his good pleasure to do so. It's his namesake, it's his words that he has spoken, and he will do for his namesake and his words. We are called by his name because he called us by his name. Not because we were good and like the Most High had me read to you already. Not because we was numerous, and basically not because we was perfect, but for his sakes, for his namesake, for his desire, for what he wanted, for what he has spoken, for what he has promised and planned before the foundation of the earth. And it will come to pass. But will you have the faith in order to receive it? Will you follow his law, statutes, and commandments to the best of your ability in order to receive it, to be in the position, to be in the positioning, to be that generation, y'all willing, to receive the promise of a lifetime, of any lifetime, the promise of a generation, of any generation that's ever walked the earth. That's right. That's what this is all about. That's what it's always been about. This is the biggest moment in the history of mankind ever. This is the biggest moment in the history of Israel. The return of the Most High and the giving of the promise and the revealing of the 144,000. The revealing of the 1/3. This is the most amazingest time ever in the history of Israel. That's right. Will you have the faith to be a part of that? Not only just be a part of it, will you have the faith, to be that 1/3, to actually get the promises? Because of course we know that the anointed, they were chosen before the foundation of the earth. So there's nothing you can do really for that. If y'all willing to be one of those men, right? Y'all willing to be one of those men. But whether you are or not, do you have the faith to enter into the promised land? Because praise be to Yah, the promised land is where it's at, right? 2/3 of our people won't enter in, so that's a large number that won't make it because they don't have the faith, because they don't have the faith and works, because they don't have the because they don't have what it takes, and they don't want it. Okay. Now let's turn with me to chapter 28. We're going to read verses 1 through 14. Finance, chapter 28. Okay. And again, this is going on, you'll see. Alright, so let's read. Chapter 28, verse 1 through 14. Starting at verse 1, and it reads as follows. And it came to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all nations of the earth. And all these blessings shall come on thee, and overtake thee, if thou shalt hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God. Blessed shalt thou be in the city, and blessed shalt thou be in the field. Blessed shall be the fruit of thy body, and the fruit of the ground, and the fruit of thy cattle, the increase of thy kind, and flocks of thy people, and flocks of thy sheep. Blessed shall be thy basket and thy store. So basically, economy, growth of our nation, all these things that would come to pass soon, right? I mean, carnally, historically, our people was in the land before, and those things came to pass in the land of milk and honey when they finally enter in after the 40-year trial and tribulation in the wilderness. But spiritually, right? Spiritually, he's talking about us right now, in this 400-year captivity, this 400-year wilderness, getting ready and prepared to enter into our rest, to enter into our second exodus, which will lead us exuberantly, Yah willing, the remnant, exuberantly to the land of milk and honey, right? The promised land. And these are the things, once and for all, for eternity, he's going to give as a gift to those people. Yah willing, it be me. Yah willing, it be you. Yah willing, it be us. Yah willing, it be our generation, our people, our nation, to be the one to enter in. Verse 6. Blessed shalt thou be when thou comest in, and blessed shalt thou be when thou goest out. The Lord shall cause thine enemies that rise up against thee to be smitten before thy face. They shall come out against thee one way, and flee before thee 7 ways. The Lord shall command the blessings upon thee in thy storehouses, and in all that thou settest thine hand unto, and he shall bless thee in the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee. So again, we haven't gotten our land yet. In the carnal, it happened before. In the spirit, it's going to happen again. Like it is written, there is nothing new under the sun. What was will be again. Right? We was in our land, ruling over the other nations before, and we're going to be in our land ruling over all the other people of the earth again. You see, you can't get this truth from these Christian churches, from these Catholic churches, from these liars. You can't get this truth from anywhere other than from the men of God and from the tribe of Judah. Right? Because we're going to give it to you straight. Y'all willing. You're going to get this truth unfiltered, raw. Praise be to y'all. Y'all willing. Alright, so let's continue. Alright. Verse number 9. The Lord shall establish thee an holy people unto himself, as he hath sworn unto thee, if thou shalt keep the commandments of the Lord thy God, and walk in his ways. And all people of the earth shall see that thou art called by the name of the Lord, and they shall be afraid of thee. And the Lord shall make thee plenteous in goods, in the fruit of thy body, and in the fruit of thy cattle, and in the fruit of thy ground, in the land which the Lord sware unto thy fathers to give thee. So right now, these other nations, man, they ain't afraid of us. They got like their guns, they got their rockets, they got their armies, they got their nuclear weapons, many of which, you know. But in that day, y'all willing, coming very soon, when the Most High has, you know, revealed 12,000 or revealed the anointed, and they can't do anything against them, their bullets don't work, then they're gonna all of a sudden be fearful as a motherfucker. Right? They're gonna be fearful. And that day is coming. The Lord shall the Lord shall open unto thee his good treasure, the heaven to give thee rain unto the land in his season, and to bless all the work of thine hand, and thou shalt lend unto many nations, and thou shalt not borrow. Yep. Lend. What are we gonna lend them? Well, we're gonna lend them leaves from the tree of life that will help them deal with their radiation problem. The radiation problem of Fukushima, the radiation problem of Chernobyl, the radiation problem of this World War III nuclear war fallout that's going to engulf the whole earth, where their babies are going to be like so poisoned and so screwed up that their mothers are going to be walking away from their babies and having no care for their own children. See, that the leaves from the tree of life is going to be so important that they're gonna be borrowing just to get some of that, which is gonna be in the land of Judah, as the scriptures say or outline. And the Lord shall make thee the head and not the tail, and thou shalt be above only, and thou shalt not be beneath, if that thou hearken unto the commandments of the Lord thy God, which I command thee this day, to observe and to do them. You know, the man of God, we're not on the bottom, bruh. Not in the eyes of the Most High. You come back to his law, statutes, and commandments, you push this truth to the best of your ability with truth and fire, truth and sincerity, truth and spirit, right? With vigor. And there's a reward for that, bruh. You ain't gonna be on the bottom of these other nations. Even the least of Israel is greater than the greatest of all these Gentiles. At least the least in Israel that is accepted by the Most High, right? That is accepted. That is that is chosen. And that's what's up. Again, that's always been what's up. That's what these other nations won't ever tell you. That's what these apologists, coons, you know, these two-third won't admit, won't say. If they don't want a piece of that, oh well. It ain't for them. It's for the men of God that you know, that through him is worthy. Through him, through the Most High, through his faith, and his adherence to the best of his ability, the Most High's law, statutes, commandments. Praise be to Yah. And thou shalt not go aside from any of the words which I command thee this day, to the right hand or to the left, to go after other gods to serve them. But if it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken to the voice of the Lord. Oh, that's it. Okay, so that's 14. Alright, good. So that's all the promises. That's the stuff that he was talking about, and that's who he was talking about it to the men of God, to the chosen, to the elect, to the 1/3 that have returned back to him in truth and sincerity, truth and fire, truth and spirit, with vigor, to do the work of the men of God, do the work of the Most High, push this truth out there in those street corners and in the.
If you aren't subscribed to the Lampshades YouTube channel, Sakuma 08, then you don't know what you are missing.
Next one I think is gonna be what number five. Number 5. So King of the Fly. But until then, we will see you again next time. All right. That's what he's talking about. That's what's up. Alright, let's move on to move with me to chapter 7. We're going to read verse 21. That's Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 21. Again, recruit, we're moving back, forth. Keep up with me now. You're definitely not a babe. Y'all willing? You've been watching. You've been following the Word of the Most High Yah telecast series from the first one up into this one. So you're no longer a babe. Now, chapter 7, verse 21, and it goes, "Thou shalt not be affrighted at them, for the Lord thy God is among you, a mighty God and terrible." Yeah, so the Most High is our power, and he says of himself that he's a mighty God, and he's a terrible God, meaning he's not terrible to us, the man of God. He said of Moses, he said of Abraham, that he was a friend to him, right? And he's a friend of the man of God. You know, who follows his law, statutes, commandments to the best of his ability, who has faith in him. And he's also our power. But also, don't get it twisted. The Most High is terrible. Right? You remember, now recruits, when we were going over Exodus and whatever or not. You remember when the Most High was a pillar by day, fire by night, and and how he revealed his face to the Egyptians, while on our side, he was like a little harmless little cloud, or light source for us, or he was, really helping out Israel, really comforting Israel. But when he seen our enemies through the cloud or whatever or not, he was terrible to them. He did nothing but trouble to them. He broke their spikes on their broke their wheels, and he just really screwed them over. It was terrible. But he wasn't that way to us. But don't get it twisted. That's part of his dossier as well. And when he's with the man of the Most High, and the man of the Most High is being with him, then to our enemies, that's where that terribleness comes out. But see, we've been in captivity for almost 400 years, recruit, and it is wisdom. It is meat to learn to the best of your ability how to utilize that power that the Most High gives us, how to bring it forth, how to use your prayers, how to utilize your prayers, and utilize following His law, statutes, and commandments, and utilize doing this work, and utilize a relationship, a loving relationship with Him, in order to bring down that power, in order to be positioned that the power that the Most High has might. The promises would be brought down to you. Most High is giving you the secrets, which aren't really secrets. I mean, they've been in this word for almost 2,500 years, waiting for the man of God to open it up and to have that relationship with the Most High, and to enjoy the Most High's promises. So in that, there's not really secrets. Praise be to Yah, but there's a lot of brothers who don't know, who didn't know. And Yah willing, you be finding out now. Y'all willing you be understanding that now. Y'all willing you be those men of God that the Most High brings down those promises for and to. The power that He is for the man of God, for the Israelites of Scripture, redeemed and in truth. Y'all willing you be those men. We be those men. Because that's what's up. That's the plan. Praise be to Yah. That's the plan. Recruit. So that you can fight this war, so that it could be as it was, where we don't even lose a man. All right, and you'll see that. I'm sure many of you have, y'all willing, have been studying. Just show yourselves approved and understand that Most High is a very powerful source of power, and nobody can stand against Him. And when he be with the man of God, nobody can stand against the man of God. Most High says in his word, when he says, if Yah be with you, who can be against you? Okay? Alright, turn with me to chapter 8, verse 3. For your notes, recruit. Chapter 8, verse 3. And guess what it says? Da 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 da. Okay, it says, and he humbled thee, and suffered thee to hunger, and fed thee with manna, which thou knewest not, neither did thy fathers know, that he might make thee know that man doth not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeded out of the mouth of the Lord doth man live. Right? 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 You know, I'll get into stiff neck this some other time. I'll get into that next time. Y'all willing? Alright? But thanks for watching Word of the Most High Yah. I'm your host, Priest of the Most High, Lucifer D. Lambew. I hope you like that note. I hope you like that note, recruit. I look forward to seeing you again next time. Alright. Man don't live by bread alone. Gotta love it. Praise be to Yah. Shalom. It's not destroyed, actually. What they would call this, they were whitewashed. Okay. During the Renaissance period of time, they basically took the conquering nation, basically took the image of Christ, which, you know, maybe you know, maybe you don't know, is a black man. And in Revelation, they tell you what color he is because it tells you that. And they made him look white, and they made the Bible look white. What color is that? Jews are an olive color. Do you know what the word Jew comes from? Yeah, what the word Jew comes from? What's the word Jew short for? But you know that they're olive color, but you don't know what the name of them comes from. I'll ask that question first. The name of Jews comes from the house of Judah. And the house of Judah, incidentally, of the Negroes here in America. We are from the house of Judah as put forth in the truth. There is nothing scriptural that tells us it's okay that you don't agree with it, because truth is truth whether you want to accept it or not. If you don't believe, I know that, that's why I'm tolerating you. You have to tolerate me because it's not my truth. It's the truth of the Bible, the very book that you say you represent. See, you can say to yourself, I don't believe this aspect, I don't believe that aspect, but you're not going against me, you're going against the very book that you say you're here to preach, teach, and show us. Because they told me, I didn't write that, I'm not the author of that. I'm not one of your church. The author of that. I'm not a church. Yeah, I'm not one of your stewards. I'm a teacher, so you know, I don't need you to try to take it. Okay, you understand that? Okay, don't try to teach. You say that you're a teacher. Fine, I'm not. You say you're a teacher. Yes, the question is this. Okay. In your mind, as a teacher, this is the question in your mind. Sure, but if you're a teacher, then you're here to teach. So how can you teach if you can't answer questions which potential students may ask you? You're a teacher, so could you teach the $1 million question that's on the hearts and minds of the Negroes in this country, which is where they come from? It's in your